I'm back with comedian David Boyle. And how are you feeling today? You're probably still a little bit fucking tipsy, aren't you? And I'm going to say that's going to last a couple more days because it's Friday night now. Are you telling me you're going to have a big fucking New Year's Eve and the next day's Friday and you're not going to kick on for a Friday and a Saturday? Maybe even a Sunday. That's what you should actually do if your New Year's resolution was to quit alcohol, is don't worry about fucking January 1. No one gives a shit. January 1 is just another tomorrow or yesterday. It doesn't fucking matter. What really matters is circumstance. So if you're a new listener here today that has decided to quit drinking as your New Year's resolution and has fucking typed, I want to quit alcohol into Spotify and this podcast has come up, what I suggest you do is stop this podcast right now, continue drinking, continue the New Year's bender into Friday, Saturday, go Sunday. Don't feel bad about it either. Let yourself off the hook for the next 3 days and just go, I'm going to do all the fucking drinking that's possible. I'm really going to put the foot to the floor for the next 3 days and then on Monday I'm going to start. So do that for me. If you're really committed to quitting drinking, you will go on a bender for the next 3 days and come back to me in 4 days. Trust me on this. Today is not the day. Don't even attempt it today. If you had a big night last night and woke up with a little bit of a buzz, just keep that buzz going for another few days. Trust me, after a 4-day bender, you'll be more prepared to quit drinking than you are now. And also, if you went out last night and you've got a hangover from hell, just keep drinking. The hangover will go away. That's what happens. You'll postpone the hangover, but they'll accumulate. And then by Monday, you'll feel like you're going to die, but you'll be ready. You'll be ready to make some fucking changes. Because the last thing I fucking need is a bunch of fucking kenos like I had last year, over enthusiastic about their New Year's resolution. And then a couple of months later, after one little fucking pandemic, they're back on the sauce. One little speed hump like the fucking pandemic. So if you're really serious about quitting alcohol, you'll continue your bender for the next 3 days and then you'll come back to me on Monday. I don't want to fucking hear from you until then. Like one of our friends announced yesterday that he was giving up drinking for a month on January 1. And he's not like one of those out of control alcoholics. He's a fucking slow and steady. He's a turtle. He's your typical 5 or 6 drinks every single day, and it doesn't seem to be doing any damage, but alcohol is accumulative. So if you stretch that out over 3 or 4 years, you start getting shaky, and he's starting to get shaky. I can see it in his eyes. And you don't announce you're quitting alcohol unless you think it's kind of getting on top of you. And whatever level that is, it doesn't really matter. If it's getting on top of you, it's getting on top of you. He's not I think my entire world is falling apart and death is closing in on me type drinker. He's more your drinking's becoming a problem. I can only really operate up to 70% of my capacity, or maybe 60%. You know what I mean? He's still functional, but he's not fully functional, or he's not functioning optimally. So anyway, this cunt announces he's quitting alcohol on Jan 1 for a month, and in the same breath, he goes, but I've already booked a wine tour for tomorrow, so I'm not sure. And you could see when he said, I'm giving up alcohol for a month, he didn't believe it at all. It was in his eyes, and it was in the wincing look in his face and the shaking of his head. He was sending off some signals, and I'm like, dude, the only way you go on this wine tour tomorrow and not drink is if you get so fucking hammered tonight that you can't even think about having an alcoholic drink without vomiting. So get to it, brother. That's my modus operandi for New Year's Eve. I'm quitting alcohol resolutions is fucking ride it out to the bitter end. Take all the guilt and shame out of the bender, let yourself off the hook, fucking go wild, and see how you are in 4 days. I know you'll be back here. You'll be back, so just leave now, newbies. Enjoy yourself. Let me know how it all goes, and I'll see you guys on Monday. For everyone else, the true fucking degenerates, who pretty much all still fucking drink. I hope the newbies have already gone and they didn't hear that. But it doesn't seem to matter how much wisdom I impart, 98% of you are still taking fucking selfies next to the beach with a Corona in your hand. I hope your New Year's went well. Mine was a non-event in the end. We decided to fucking gun it for the closest border to avoid the 14 days self-fucking isolation. And we made it on time, and we get to the border and there's virtually no one at the fucking border. It's all a complete fucking psyop. There were 2 cops and 2 guys in high vis, and they asked for the permit, and the guy in the high vis we showed, he didn't even look at the permit. He just saw we had a phone and a fucking license and waved us through. And that was it. That was the border crossing. We were fleeing like refugees. And it just became a complete non-event. But anyway, I've got to do the COVID test and I've got to self-isolate till I get the results back. But I don't have to do the 14 fucking days, which is a good start to the new year. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Any newbies, if you're still around, take my advice, trust me, just come back Monday. There's not much going on this weekend anyway. Alright, okay. To everyone else, I'll see you the fuck later.